Good morning, everyone. Hello from sunny Paikakariki. If you can hear me, please just type into the chat window on the right-hand side there that you can hear me, and where you're from and what kind of business you're in. Good morning, Eva. Good morning, Shaylin, Helene, Kim, Ralph. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Joanna. How are you? Good morning, Trudy. Good morning, Gordon. Good morning, Eva. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Liz. How are you? Good morning, Joanne. Hi, Lee. Okay, we've got some craft supplies. We've got some honey supplies. We've got a restaurant, cafe. I know that Joanne is a photographer. Hi, Warwick from Paraparaumu Beach Market. Good morning. And setting up a new business. That's exciting. All right. So by the end of this webinar today, we should all be able to set up an online store using Shopify. Now, if you would like to follow along with me, you can, there's a link just down there, the follow along 90-day trial. If you click on that, that's the link that we're going to be using to set up our online Shopify store. Now, a little bit about these webinars. These webinars are put on by the Kapiti Coast District Council and Leverage to support the businesses on the Kapiti Coast that have been affected by COVID-19. Hopefully by the end of the series of webinars, you'll have some tools in your toolkit to help you grow your business online. These are great tools for businesses across the spectrum. At any stage, you can ask a question, either put it in the chat box on the right-hand side. I'm probably pointing to the wrong side. Or down the bottom, there is an ask a question button. So if you have any questions, you can click in there and ask a question. As I answer them, I will be clicking on there and answering them through. So without any further ado, what I'm going to do is start sharing my screen. So bear with me while I set that up. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. All right, now you should be able to see myself and a black screen, but we're going to focus in on this one. And where are we going? So this one here. So we're going to head over to the Shopify link down the bottom. This is where you will sign up. If you visit shopify.com, it'll be very similar. What we're going to do in here is just simply put in our email for the for our store. So today I'm making a tea store at lbrg.net. And we click start free trial. This will set us up at for our 90-day trial. So we're just going to put in the password here. Now the store name, this is what Shopify will register as your store name. So it won't necessarily affect the domain name, but it will affect how the store is displayed in Shopify. You'll see that later. But we're going to call this Tea Store, and the name of our store is going to be Shipwreck. It doesn't really matter what we call it at this stage, because we will use a domain name and we can change everything at a later date, but this is what we're going to call our tea store. It'll take a couple of seconds. And it will just load up and set up your online store. Wonderful, our store is ready to go. So in 2 seconds, we should be in the back end. Okay, so when we jump into the back end, Shopify wants to know a little bit about us. Now we can fill this out or we can skip it. At this stage, for the brevity of the video, we're just going to skip this. Although if we just hit next, it will bring up the instead of skipping, I clicked next. We can put in our details. So this helps to set up the business for later. So I'll just quickly do this, and the store is a registered business. Region, Wellington. Okay, so we've just put in our physical address, and we'll hit enter, and that will bring us into our store. Now again, if there's any questions, please just jump into the questions down the bottom and ask. And actually, if I bring this in nice and close, that might make it better to see. Does that help everyone? We'll make it. We had this problem yesterday. Okay. So now we're in the back end of our Shopify store. Robin, that doesn't help, or does it? Did you prefer it wider? It's too small. Okay, so if I make that bigger, again, is that better? I know that it's a little bit hard to see. What if I do this? Is that better? I'm sorry. So it can be a little bit tricky to see. There. Too small. It's just the printing. Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll keep it nice and wide to the maximum width that Shopify will do, and we'll just work our way through it. And if it's pixelated, we'll get the idea. Okay. All right. So we're now in the back end of Shopify. When you jump into Shopify, this is what you will see. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to choose a theme. So we're going to follow down here to the online store. We're just going to click on the online store button, not the eye icon beside it. This brings up a sub-menu where we can see we're now on the theme page. Now we're going to choose a theme. So this is where you come to choose a theme. Shopify has a range of paid themes and free themes. They're all listed in this theme store. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come down and click on visit the theme store. Click on that, and that should load through. Hi, Joanne. The question about when you fill in the information about your business, is that for Shopify or for the customers? That is for Shopify. It's really important that when you're putting in your business information for the Shopify store that you put in your correct legal information. So if, for example, if your name is Joanne and your legal name is Joanne, and you put Joe in on in the personal details for your business, that may hinder your payout later for Shopify payments. So it's really important that you put your business information in and make sure it's accurate. Okay, so now here we are in the Shopify theme store. This is where you would choose your theme to that would work with your store. Now, for the brevity of this webinar, we're just going to use the default theme, but there are a lot of themes in here. Some are free and some are paid. They're typically between $180 and $140 for a paid theme, or there are free themes. Both the free and the paid themes are really powerful. But like I said, for the brevity, we'll just jump back into the Shopify store and use the Shopify default theme. So I'll close that one back. So here we are back in Shopify. Great question, Janine. That is a one-off cost for the theme. There is a paid cost for Shopify, and we will cover that later on in the call, in the video when we talk about the different plans. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here, and we are going to use the debut theme, which is the one that Shopify comes with, and we're going to hit customize. So we'll just click here on the blue button, customize. Okay, here we are in our store. Now we've got a couple of different parts to this theme, to this page, and I'll run you through a couple of the key buttons. Up the top here we have these icons. So we've got a icon that looks like a desktop computer, and that shows what our shop would look like on a desktop. Beside that is a mobile icon, and so if I click on that, it shows what our shop would look like on a mobile icon. And on the other side of that, on the right, to the right of that, is a button which takes it full screen. So I'll bring it back to the desktop. To the right of that, we have the save icon. Now Shopify doesn't automatically save your changes, so we need to make sure we click save when we've made changes. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to edit our header. So the header is this top bar here, and we're going to select a logo image. So Shopify also is, Shopify is also hooked into, has a library of free images that you can search and bring in, which is fantastic for stores that don't have images. But we're going to start. I've got a header image, and I'm going to upload a library image from my library. So 2 seconds while that loads up. Okay. So jump into Shopify webinar. We're going to put in this Shopify shipwrecked. Okay, so we've brought that in and it's inserted the image there. We then come down to the bottom and push on the select button, which will bring the logo in. Now it's looking a little bit small here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size of it, the width of it. So it's quite a long, skinny logo, so we're just going to bring it up to 220 pixels wide, maybe even a little bit wider, 230. There we go. Now, we have in the header, we have the ability to change the announcement bar. The announcement bar is the little bar that pops up at the top here. You will have seen a lot of stores using this for displaying information about COVID-19 or specials. So we can put some text in here. And we can also put in here HTML code for a link. Now, don't worry about the code side of things. We can talk about it after. I think it'll work. My code is terrible today, so you can. I think. Oh no, sorry, my brain has gone foggy. You can use the link button below to link it. Special deal today, and we're going to link it to our collections. And so if you now click on that, it will take you through to the to your collection. So we're going to hit save. Now that we've got our logo in our image and ready to go. So that's saved. You can see it has a little progress bar. So Shopify has a little progress bar that goes across the window here. You'll see it as we progress through, and that's how we know that it's saving. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start customizing our homepage. So we come into here. Shopify homepage has a number of sections which we can edit and reorder. Just quickly to reorder them, we just click and drag them, and it drags and changes the order in which they're displaying on screen. So we'll just drag that one back up to the top. We're going to have a look at this one. We can also, just before we dive into it, we can hide this. So say, for example, we really like this one, but we're going to use it again maybe later, or we've got a special on. We just click on this button here and it hides it from screen, but it doesn't delete it. So we're going to jump in, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring in an image that relates to our tea company. We can either upload an image or we can search our library. Now I've got one on in my folder here. In my downloads, let's have a look. We're going to use, these are my product images, and sounds pretty good. Just bring that in. And so now we've got our image there, and it's set it as a background image. We can also use the free images which Shopify uses that brings in. So for example, we want to search for tea. This one here looks like a pretty good tea. Looks like a nice warm tea for this morning. And we can then change the alignment. So if we want it to align to the bottom of the image or the top of the image. So this changes how the image is aligned. The layout, if we want it to be a full width or a fixed width. Fixed width contains it within the page. The section height, so this changes the height of the section. So if we go to small, you see how the vertical height shrinks, whereas if we set it to extra large, it will take up the majority of the screen. We can also make changes to the headings, and we're going to say warm up with tea. Sure. So we've now added some text. We're also going to add a button here. We're going to say shop the range. Now link, so this button down here, we're now adding in a button. We can add a button link here. So we're going to link it to our collections. Now our collections, we will talk about later, but our collections are where all of our products live. Okay. And again, if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat or into the ask a question button, and I'll be able to answer them as we go along. So we've now added an image. We can hit save, and we can see it making changes, and we can now see that if I click this button, this is what our website would start to look like. Okay, we're going to come back in. We're going to keep editing our homepage. So we'll get rid of that one, go back to here. When we want to go back to the homepage, we just click on this, editing the homepage. We can just click on this arrow up on the top top left-hand corner here. So that takes us back. Next one here, we're going to add in an image with text. And so, for example, here we're going to select an image. We're going to use that teapot that we uploaded earlier. Then we hit save or select down the bottom. We can then come in here and talk about the benefits. Oh, if I can spell properly, of cast iron teapots. We can also add a button here. So this button, we might say again, this might link to our collection or it might link to a blog post, but at the moment we'll just put outline range, and we're just going to link that to our collection broadly, but when we would come back through, we would change that. Now hit save. We can now see that our homepage is starting to come together. All right, so we can see that our homepage is now starting to come together. We've got a few different elements there. We can have a look at some of these other options. We can set one of the ones that neat features that Shopify has is the pulling in the featured collection. Now, because we haven't got any collections set, so this pulls through your products. So a little quick chat about collections. Collections are where your products sit. So there's all the collections, and then you can have sub-collections. So for example, a tea shop might have a collection of teapots, a collection of teacups, and a collection of tea. That really depends on what your store, how you categorize your store. You might, if you're a fashion store, you might have, say, men's, a collection of men's products. You might have a sub-collection of men's t-shirts, and then the same as a collection of women's and a sub-collection of women's t-shirts. That's how you would generally break up the collections. So we're going to set that as the featured collection, or we could call these the winter warmers. And then we could select a collection. We could create a collection straight away from here. But because we don't have any products, we're just going to use the collection that's already made here, which is the homepage collection. And products can be in multiple collections. So for example, you might have a unisex t-shirt that sits in both men's and women's collections. Okay, got a question here. Question for later, Shopify, Squarespace versus Shopify commerce. Okay, Jenny, I'll circle back to that. Thanks for putting that in the question. Okay. Right, so just jump back into the store. Okay, all right, so now let's go back into here. So we've now added our products. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump back into the to the back end. So we'll just click here, click on this button. Actually, before we leave, we'll hit save. Make sure that the save is done. The progress bar runs across the top. Joanna, the question about this being a website. Yes, this is a website. So Shopify runs as a website. This is the backend editor for your website, and when we hit publish, this will make it available for the public to access over the internet. There are some cool features with Shopify that we can use for selling elsewhere, but predominantly what we're building here is a website for selling online. I hope that makes sense. So answer that question, Joanna. Okay, all right, we'll just exit. Does it link to your existing site or Facebook? You can have it. It does link to Facebook, and we'll cover that a little bit later. This would be a separate site to an existing site. So I know that you already have a. So can this be used on a phone? Yes, that's Shopify can be used on a mobile. All the things. So this is what the page would look like on a mobile device. So a phone or a phone. Tablets would look somewhere in between. All the themes are designed as being responsive, and so what responsive means is it works across tablets, mobile devices, and desktop. Okay, we'll just go back into the actually jump back into. So we'll go click on customize again. Now we'll just jump into the theme settings. So we're back in the page again, and one of the buttons we didn't look at was the theme settings. So in the theme settings, we can make some changes that will broadly affect the hi EJ, the social media workshop is the next workshop, which is on Monday at 10 a.m. So feel free to hang around, or if you need to shoot off, you can jump in, and this will be on recorded. So the colors here, we can change the colors of the text here. We can just click in here and choose a color. So for example, I quite like having quite dark headings. Body text, I like it gray, it's a little bit softer. Happy for sale, prices to be this. I know that my primary buttons, I really like that gold color that I've got in the background there, and I've got my color code here somewhere. Let's have a look. Copy that in. Primary button, I'll just jump in here. Yeah, these would be things that we might want to use to match our theme. Yes, this is being recorded and will be available for watching again after the event. You can just return to this URL if you need to this web address. Okay, so now we can change all of these buttons here. We can change the image overlays. So, for example, if they needed some of the overlays, the images might have an image. We can see how this, by dragging this around, we can see how it's affecting the image overlay. And we can see all of our recent colors are down here. So we'll just put that as a nice light gray. We can change the opacity. We want to have it nice and light, so that the opacity of 0 versus an opacity of 100. We can see this a little bit different. We'll just set it around about 20%. Again, hit save to make these changes. Typography. We can change the font here by clicking on clicking here. This changes the heading and button font. Now Shopify has an extensive library of fonts. I'm quite happy with Helvetica, but I'll show you. We might change it to Archivo. Sounds like a pretty cool. Seems like a pretty cool font for the header. We can change the weight of the font down here. So we're just going to choose semi-bold. And we can see once we hit select, it will make changes on our screen. So we'll hit save. There's a lot there to play with. I would choose one that fits really closely with your branding for your company. Now hit save, and that's taking us back. We can jump in the search buttons, and we can change searching terms. Social media. This is where you would put in your social media accounts to link to your social media. This would be fantastic if you have it, and really, really ideal for making sure that you're connecting the two together. And we'll cover more social media stuff in the workshop on Monday morning if you're available. The next one is the favicon. So this is the little icon that appears at the top of our screen here in this tab here. So we click select image, and I have one in my library. So we're going to click upload. That's in here. And it needs to be a square resolution, and it's a pretty small file. They shrink it down to 32 by 32 pixels. I like to start it being around about 100 pixels by 100 pixels. You can use a free tool called Canva to edit those. And now once we've done that, we can hit select. Now that will now change and get rid of the icon up here. Now we can change the add to cart notification. This shows whether a notification comes up when you add to cart. We can also customize our checkout. We can change the We can change the how the checkout looks, if there's any background images or logo images. We can't make a lot of changes to the checkout page. One of the important things that we do here is select our logo image that we've already uploaded to appear on our checkout page. Now, we're going to have a pretty plain background page, a plain checkout page. We're not going to change the background images. I quite like a minimalist design. We can also just keep the headings the same. This is because the checkout is secure, they make you make your changes in here. So we're going to just change this to be our recent colors there. Yellow, errors, we're going to keep as that. We're going to, yeah, that blue's fine for our buttons. And then we're just going to make sure we hit save at the top of the right-hand corner. Now, I know that I'm blasting through pretty quickly, so if there's any questions, jump in. Ross, can you please? Oh, yeah, sure. So I'll type that into here. Canva. So Canva is like Photoshop, but a very free, easy, and web-based version. Okay. Now we're going to come back to our home page editor here. We can also check out what some of our other pages might look like. We can look at our password page. We can change these by clicking up the top here. There's a name and a drop-down arrow. This allows us to have a look at what the page might look like. This is where our collections page would be. Sorry. So when we click on these pages, if we have sections selected on the left-hand side, we can change things about it. So, for example, we can edit our header and our collections page. We can also change how our products appear, and we can make a number of changes, but we'll circle through those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to exit out of this part, and we're going to start looking at the general settings on Shopify. So we're going to come down here and we're going to click on Preferences. So this is where we would start. So preferences. This is the preferences for our web page. This is where we could put in start answering that one. So this is where we would put in our SEO. Where we go? This is where we would put in our title and meta description for the site broadly, and then we can change that on each. So this is where we do the SEO and meta titles. So this is, so for example, this is and then we would put in a description in here. So this is so that the homepage title appears at the top of the page here, but also appears in the search engine results. And this is where you would put your meta description. So this is in the online store and then in the preference. And so this is where you would write a description. This is what shows in your search results. The Google Analytics, if you have a Google Analytics code, you can paste this in here. Again, the same with a Facebook pixel. If we wanted to password protect our website, this is where you would set it. When the website is not, when you don't have a plan, it is behind a password protection. So you can't, it's not live. I'm just going to hit save here. You can see there's a question there. Where are you going? All right. Shopify. Okay. Okay. Hi, DJ. When you get a chance, can you discuss Shopify integration with existing websites? Staying Shopify Nation. Okay. Okay, there's a couple of questions there. What I would like you to do, EJ, would you be able to put that into the questions, and I will circle back on that. So if you just click on ask a question and just put that in there, and we can circle back round through to that. All right. Now, once we've done that, we've clicked save, and we're going to come down here and hit settings, click on settings, and we're going to view and change some of these settings in our store. We're going to click on General to view and update our settings. So this is where we can put in the legal name of our business. So if, for example, if we are LTD, there. And this is some of our details. Make sure that this is correct, because again, we don't want to get when we go into the Shopify payments, we don't want to have any errors here. And this is also how you will be able to contact your customers. Will be able to contact you. Sorry, we can change our standard format. So, say for example, you're in New Zealand, you want to be selling overseas, and we can change the time zone so that's relative to your customers. This is where you can edit the order format. Now, coming here, the prefix, your orders will start with the hash symbol and then start as 1001. Now, it's always, I think it's always good to start and put a prefix on your web store orders, so that way when they come into if you, for example, you have multiple online stores or you have multiple sales channels, you can know where they're coming from. So for example, we know this is Shipwreck Tea and it's a web store. It doesn't really matter what that is, just as long as it makes sense to you. You could call it web, and you can see down here that your orders will appear as hash 1001, 1002. Always really good to separate where your sales channels are coming from. And of course, if you have multiple e-commerce stores, this is where you would change that. I'm going to hit save, and we're going to update all those changes. The progress bar will come across the top. I'm going to come back into settings. The notifications. This is the notifications that will come between you. All these notifications automatically get sent by Shopify to your customer, so order confirmation. You can edit these emails, and I would recommend that once you've set up your store, worth having a look at. Most of them are pretty good to go. You can also set up your staff order notifications. This is really important, so you know that when you've got an order sent to you, when you've got a new order, you've received it. If you're a multi-person business, great to have another person make sure that they receive that email too. Make sure it's going to the right place. You can enable desktop notifications, and there's some stuff there for webhooks. We're not making any changes on this page, just showing you, making you aware. We'll have a look at the payment providers. So Shopify has an inbuilt payment gateway, which is Shopify Payments. They charge a credit card rate. It depends on the payment plan of 2.4%. You come in here and click complete setup to set up the payment. We use it. It's really straightforward and easy. Not too many fish hooks in there. If you want to use a third-party provider, you can use that, but Shopify does charge an additional fee. You can learn about that by clicking on their web page here, by completing setups or clicking here. Again, make sure you put your accurate information in there. Can this integrate with Xero? Yes, you can integrate Shopify with Xero. I'll answer that now. So you can integrate between Shopify and Xero. There are a number of different apps that are pay to play to integrate between Xero and Shopify. And we'll run over those at the end, but they're in the App Store, and we'll show you where to find those at the end of the towards the end of the call. Right, so back into our settings. This is the files. So this is where you can bulk upload images. Typically, what happens with, so I'll show you this. So click here, upload, and you can select multiple images. So for example, I've got a product here of a teapot, and I want to upload all of these images. Just select them all and click open. Say, for example, you've got a range of products. This would be a great place to upload them. It also gives you a URL here, which you can copy and paste to share, to use elsewhere if you needed to. So, for example, if you wanted to link it to other products. Okay. Now, the checkout is where we customize the checkout process. Customer accounts are disabled. This sets out if they can only check out as guests. Accounts are optional, and accounts are required. So an account is where they have to sign up to purchase a product. My preference when I'm setting up online stores, their accounts are optional. That means that people are they get to choose how much they want to engage with your business. Accounts are required. It can be a barrier to converting visitors into customers. So we're just going to check accounts are optional. To check out, customers can check out using their phone number or email. I like to leave that as default. Receive shipping updates. I prefer for the top one, but we can also leave that the arrive at here as well. Form options require last name only. Full name require last name only. I don't prefer first and last name. Company name depends on what the product you're selling. We're selling a B2C product, but if you were selling a B2B product, click required, and that will make sure that the business name is in there. The address line 2, if you require it, set it as default. While the customer is checking out, we're going to jump down here. The shipping address is the billing address by default. This reduces the number of fields to fill in, pretty straightforward. Enable auto completion. We're just going to leave those. After an order has been paid, so what we can do here, this is more around fulfilling the order at the other end. We are not going to, what we're going to do is we're only going to automatically fulfill the gift cards of the order. So that's when we are sending a product. If you are selling a digital product like an ebook or an online file, automatically fulfilling the orders items would be great, because then you don't have to be involved. But if you are shipping a product, I would set it to do not automatically fulfill any of the products, or automatically fulfill the gift cards only, which means that there's digital products. The gift card is automatically being sent. We're just going to skip that. We come down to the email marketing. So show us sign up option at checkout. Pre-select the sign up button option. It means that you're going to get more likely to get people to be signing up to your email. Our store's checkout is displayed in English. If you wanted to change that, say for example you're targeting a different geographic, you can click here and manage that. Click save to save those changes, and we'll go back into the settings again. We'll go back to the settings by clicking on the settings button at the bottom of the page. We're now into the sales channels. So Shopify has the ability to sell via a number of different sales channels. The first sales channel is obviously your online Shopify store. The other sales channels you can add in are selling through Instagram and through Facebook. And the additional one, which is really great for people who have a physical product, perhaps you're selling at a market or in person infrequently at a store, you can click here to add your point of sale. So it becomes a checkout register that operates on a tablet or a mobile device. Really, really easy. You can add buy buttons to add elsewhere and Messenger. And there's a number of other ones that aren't available specifically in New Zealand. But those are the sales channel. We're not going to go through and add those now just for the brevity, but good to know that they are there. Shipping, we're going to come in here. This is pretty important for our physical products to ship our tea sets to the rest of the world. Just want to, okay, any questions at any stage, please just pop them in the chat and we'll come through. Right, so we're going to jump in here and we're going to manage our rates. We can set, we're going to create we can change and add rates for shipping domestically in New Zealand. So we're going to jump in here and we're going to add a rate. We're going to set up our own rate. You can integrate with other carriers to figure these out, but at the moment we're just going to come in here and set these. Do you need a store? Okay, so I'll come back to your question in a second, Ralph. I can see that there. We're going to set this as free shipping. And we're going to add the shipping. We're going to set the price there. We're going to add some conditions. We're going to base it on an order price. We're going to set a free shipping of a minimum price of, needs to be $50, and hit done. We can also set the price so for example, if we had super fast shipping, and we wanted to charge a premium, we can put that in here and say it's $15. You can change these. You can also change them based on rates. But at the moment, we're just going to check that back to free shipping. And hit done. Now, a word about shipping is I would set your shipping to free or very low cost. Free shipping, the cost of shipping when it comes in at either in the checkout or elsewhere is an off-put for your customers. Removing it increases your chance of converting those visitors into customers. So if you can, price that shipping into your domestic shipping into your product. International shipping is a little bit different and it really depends on the product. At the moment, we've set our free shipping. We're going to delete our standard shipping. We're not going to ship to the rest of the world, but if you, for example, you wanted to ship to Australia, you can jump in and do that there. Hit save, and we're going to go back to the settings. Plans and permissions. This is where you can add in other staff to your store. Add to your store. So for example, if you wanted to add staff in, say for example, you've got an assistant that's fulfilling orders, you just click in here and add them to staff. This is also where you can turn off your store. You can close your store for 30 days and it will still be there. We're going to go back to our settings. We've got our plan and permissions for taxes. If you're GST registered, you can include your taxes here. We can edit your taxes. The fact that you're collecting taxes there. And hit save, which is down the bottom of the page. We've made any changes. We show all of our prices include GST, charge GST on shipping. This is automatically calculated. We can set those. It really depends on where you're shipping to. I'm going to circle around to your question. Whereas regular is just an order app. So Shopify is it? Can you tell me about, I'm not sure, I don't know about regular. Let me just see if I can see that. I'm not sure about regular, Joanne, sorry. Right, where are we at? Okay, hit settings, shipping, planning permissions, taxes, store languages. That's where you would change your language on your store. The locations, this is where you are physically located. So we can, this is where we store our product. You can have multiple locations. Say, for example, you had a store in Otaki, a store in Waikanae, a store in Paraparaumu. You can add those in and it will fulfill from different stores. We don't need to have a look at that. We'll just come back in here. Billing, this is your billing information here. This is where you would change add your payment methods so you can purchase your account from Shopify. And it also has your bills and invoices in here. Coming back to the settings, this is where we can set up gift cards. And this is where, which is always good. Gift cards auto expire. I think gift cards should expire 12 months after purchase and hit save. You can also set this to integrate with Apple Wallet. If you would like to do that, you can tick that there. Hit save. Come through to settings. Now we're going to come into the legal page here. This is where Shopify is really great because all online stores should have refund policies, privacy policies, and terms of service. Now, Shopify will automatically create these for us. So we just click on this button and it creates our refund policy. Now, of course, if you would like to edit it and change it, you can just do that in here. We'll do the same for the privacy policy. And again, for the terms of service, and this is where you would manually enter your shipping policy. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to create a page for these different sections. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open a new tab, right click, open a new tab, which will bring us back through to our online store. We can come down to pages. Click on pages. We're going to click add a page. And this is how you add a page. We're just going to add in the refund policy. Copying that text. I'm going to add that in here. Call it our refund policy. And we're going to hit save. We'll do the same with the privacy policy. Over here, back in our pages page, we're going to click add, create another page. And we're just going to paste in that text, and we can call that save. I'm going to add another one, which is going to be the terms of service. Select that, copy it again, and we're going to add that in the bottom. Save. We also want to add we're going to create another page, and we're going to add a page, and we're going to create a contact page. So we're going to call this our contact us page, and then we're going to hit save. What we're going to do now is we're going to view that page, and it's automatically created a page with a contact form that will go through to the email address that you've set up on the inside. Okay, can you minimize shipping to only locally? Local only? Yes. Sorry, that's a we'll just start answering some questions. Okay, so yes, you can set the shipping to local only. So the question here was Eva asked the question, can you ship to local only? We're going to come into our settings down the bottom, shipping, and what we're going to do is we're going to manage rates. We're going to create a new shipping zone, and we're going to call it, say for example, Otaki only. I'm going to search for New Zealand. Right there. Right. Sorry, it's already in the other zone. Sorry. So we're just going to come in here. We're going to create a iterate. And we can call this taking only. Customers will set that at checkout. We're going to add a condition. What I would do is I'd just call it Otaki delivery or something. And put it in there. And that way it's set for local delivery. You could get rid of this one. So then when they check out, it's Otaki delivery only or delivery range. And when they check out, that's what they would see. That would be how I would do it. I'm sure there's another way. And happy to, if you want to flick your email through, I can have a look at it and send you sort of some info on that. Are there any examples of fantastic Shopify sites we can get inspiration from? Yes, there are. When you're browsing the themes, you can see some of the store. The theme store is a great place to start. The theme store is a great place to start for inspiration. You can see how the theme designers have built out their themes and expecting to use them. You'd be surprised at the number of stores already online that are using Shopify. They're really great. Yeah. So in the themes, you can, when you scroll to the bottom of the theme, you can see the some of the stores that are already using that theme. So you can make a lot of changes to each theme and really see the different changes. So it's really great for getting some inspiration from there. I hope that answers that question, Jenny. Okay. You need to set up a store for. So do you need to set up a domain for your store, or is it all part of Shopify? Yes, you will need to set up a domain, and we'll cover that at the end. I recommend using iwantmyname.com for domain names. Really easy to set up domains. I think you can purchase through Shopify. I like to keep them a little bit separate, but iwantmyname.com. I'll type that into the chat. Yeah. Are really good for getting domains. If we already have a good website, do you advise, so Jenny asks, if you already have a good website, do you advise creating a whole separate domain and a website for just offering online sales, or add to our existing site? Jenny, I would always recommend having your e-commerce on your main page. You can have a separate domain. So say, for example, shipwrecktea.com was our existing site, and we created a new online store at shop.shipwrecktea.com or some other format of that. What I would recommend is that having it on the main domain, and we've just recently did this with a customer of ours. Their website is pointsouth.co.nz. They had their blog, they had a really good blog on a separate domain and their shop on another domain. By combining them together, we had an increase in traffic by 138% in the first month. So I'd always recommend to have that on the main page. It depends on where your store, your online, your website is and what it's built in. There might be a commerce play that might plug straight into that. Right, we'll just keep go back to sharing the settings, setting up our store. So on our store, we were creating pages. So we just created our contact page. Now what we need to do is we need to have a look at creating menus. So we just let's save that. Actually, we'll discard that because we want to keep our free shipping. We're going back to our online store by clicking on the online store button here. We're going to have a look at the navigation. So this is where we can change and edit our menu. So in our navigation, this theme has already come with two menus. It's got a footer menu and a main menu. The footer menu appears at the bottom of the page and the main menu appears at the top of the page. And the footer menu, we want to add in those pages that we just had before. So we're going to click add and we're going to add the privacy policy. And so we can look through here, and this has got a list of pages. And we're just going to click on privacy policy. And that adds a link. We're going to add our terms of service. And click on the link button, click on pages, terms of service. We're going to add another one. We're going to add refund. Pages, refund policy. We're going to save. We can then go back to our navigation. And in our main menu, we're going to add our contact us page. Add a menu item. Pages, contact us. Now, we haven't created an About Us page, and we won't do that for this video, but it is really important that you create an amazing About Us page. The About Us page is the second most visited web page, usually on a web page, on a website, and it really can add to your conversion. So really important that you add an amazing story to your About Us page. So feel free to add your page as we go through. We're going to now have a look at the blog posts by clicking on blog posts on the left-hand side here. Click create a blog post. So to add a blog post, it's really straightforward. Give it a title. 10 tips for an amazing you can put some details in here. This is a really straightforward editor. Add an image, a video, or any other content, and you can put that in here. You can add an excerpt, and this is where you can edit your SEO description. So we'll just add some filler text. We can set a featured image. And this is pulling through from our product images. That one there looks like a great one. And we can set the visibility. You can change who the author is if you have other staff added to your Shopify page. You can also change your blog. So you might have a news blog, a product features blog, and you can add some tags. So we're going to add a tag here and call it T tips. We can see the URL, and we can change how that would appear here. So we might change that. This is where we would put the meta description, which shows up in the search engine results. So if you imagine this section here is what it would look like in Google. Hit save, and we're going to set that as visible. We can also set a specific date for it to appear. So we can set a date in the future or a time to appear. We're just going to hit visible as of now, hit save and publish. Right, so we're now ready to add and edit a product to our web store. We'll jump into up the top here, come down, we've got the products here. We're going to click on products, and we're going to add a product. now we're going to add that cast iron teapot. Your store, if it's a cafe, it might be a food item. A photographer, it might be a print. You can add this in here. We add a description, and we're going to call it a and fill in the descriptions. We can add the images. Remember when we uploaded the file, we can also link it to our existing images that we've got, or we can just click add. We can add a number of these, and they're going to come in and set as a gallery. So I selected all of those by holding down Shift and selecting them. They're going to upload. And I quite like that as the hero image, but if you wanted this one here to be the hero image, just select here, drag it. So you click on the little handle here and drag it across to set it as the featured image. But I quite like that one as the featured one. We can set a price. This one's a bargain at $45, whereas it was $59. It's comparing the pricing. And we can also put in a cost per item if you would like Shopify to know this information. If you're running your books elsewhere, you might not want to put this in, but this is where you would put that. We can, for example, we know that this is going to cost us $25 and we're getting a 44% margin. We can add our SKU or our barcode. We want to track our quantity, but we also want to be able to continue to keep selling when it's out of stock. We're going to add some variants in a second, Eva, so I'll answer that in 2 seconds. We're going to add a quantity, and I know that I just got a shipment of 37 of these. This is a physical product, it's pretty heavy at 2.5 kilos, 0.5 kilos. And this, you don't need to put this weight in if you don't use the weights to calculate your shipping. You don't need to have, if you're not shipping it internationally, you don't need to have your customs info. But if you are shipping internationally, this is where you'd put in your customs info, which would drive through. We're going to add variants. So I know that this one has 3 different sizes. It comes in a 350 mil, and you separate the variant of the different sizes by a comma, 350 mil, 500 mil, comma, and a 800 mil, comma. You can have other options. So for example, if you had a t-shirt that had a print on it, you might say your size is small through to XL, or triple XL and triple SL, whatever, whatever we got. And you can have other options like color. This is where we can set the price per unit. So I'll just click this. So this is where we're setting the variance pricing. So we know that the 500 mil is actually a little bit more expensive. It's $59. 24 of those. We've got the 80 mil, which is quite expensive at $89. And we've got 2 of those in stock. Now you don't need to keep the stock in here if you're keeping it elsewhere. I like to keep it. Shopify will integrate with other stock keeping systems if you don't necessarily want to keep the stock in here. Those are ones that we've integrated with in the past, TradeGecko and Unleashed, but there are a number of other stock keeping systems. Okay, so this is where we've gone down to. We can now edit our SEO, how it would appear in the search engine results. Really important to make sure that this makes sense. So we might say buy online, free delivery. And you can fill in this and add more details. You're going to hit save. Just as that runs through. One of the other things that we didn't add was the product type down the side here. So we've got a product type. This is a teapot. This is for organizing our products later. we've got a vendor. So this is where you might have multiple vendors. So this might be coming from, say, say for example, Depop designer. So we can add that in there. And so that would be the brand that someone can search for. But it might also appear in the collections. So we're going to add a teapot. We actually need to add the collections and then bring it in here. So we'll circle back to this. We can add some tags here. So the tags would be like cast iron, in comma to separate these. Vintage, and then they appear there. They help when people are searching their products. Now hit save. Transfers are where you have, again on the left-hand side, transfers are where you have the you're transferring stock between suppliers and your location, but we're not doing that. Inventory, this is where we can manage the inventory that we have in stock. Collections, this is the important part that we wanted to get to. We're going to create a collection of teapots now, and we're going to call this teapots. This is where you would add a description. We can automate adding products to a collection. We can have a manual collection type where we manually add products to this collection. So for example, if we're selling t-shirts, we would have to manually go through and add every product that is a t-shirt, we'd have to add it to this collection. That would be great for products, for collections that we're displaying on our homepage or elsewhere. Or for example, we might use automated. So where product is automated, and this exists to match any product with the conditions as below. So for example, we might have product vendor, so we might set it for the collection to be for for the product vendor, so we might make a brand collection, or we might do a product price, so bargains under $20, or the range of conditions here. So we can set that. We know that our tag is equal to teapot. That, and we're going to add a collection image. So this is where we would choose a teapot image, and that becomes our image for our collection. So we can hit save, and we've now set up our teapot collection. The next one we're going to quickly have a look at is gift cards. You can sell a gift card, so people would purchase a gift card from your online store and then be able to purchase it through there. So clicking and adding it. Customer, we're just going to jump down. We're going to go into the next part here. We're going to come into our customers tab. This is where we can see our customers. So for example, if you've had people purchase from your website. We've got the next one down is the analytics. This is where we can see what's been happening on our web store. So conversion rate, top units sold, online visitors, we can see that we're just a brand new website. We can see some different reports. These are really good key insights for your store. We can also see the live view, so we can see people that are visiting our store. Look, there's only one person. That's our location there. We haven't got anyone on our store at the moment. And jump down to here. We're going into our marketing. So this is the results from our marketing. We can set up some different campaigns through here, which jump into. So we can plug this, connect Shopify into our store, and they're going to use some of the integrations to either build an ad or introduce retargeting or post on our behalf. But we're not going to do that now. great to have a look at. One of the ones that is really worth having a look at is creating an automation. So we can automate the shopping page, Google Smart Shopping. So, when you're searching and you see, say for example, I'm searching for teapots and we want our product to show up in the top of the results, this is where we would connect that. Again, that's a paid service. We're not going to dive deep into that here. I'm going to jump into the discount codes. This is where we create the discount codes. We can create a discount code. Say, for example, we've got a really valued customer. We want to give them a code. So, for example, share the love, and we can give them a discount of different types. So, a percentage, a fixed amount, free shipping, buy X, get Y, the discount value. So, we're going to give them a 10%. We're going to apply it to the entire order, or we can apply it to a specific collection. So we just made a teapot collection. We can select and specifically apply it to that. We can set a minimum order amount or a minimum quantity of items. We can apply it to a specific group of customers or specific customers. We can limit the usage of those per item or per customer, and we can set dates. At the moment, it doesn't have a set date. We're just going to leave that there. We can hit save. We can also generate a random code by clicking that button at the top. Hitting save, we're going to leave that. We've got our share the love one. We can go back to our discount codes. We can jump onto our automatic discounts. And click here to create an automatic discount. And this is where we can, it'll automatically, so this is going to be our promotion, new shop. You give it a 5% discount and save discount. Minimum purchase needs to be $1. And they're going to get an automatic discount. All right, so we're going to jump back to the next one we're going to have a look at is apps. So Shopify is really great. One of the things it's really great at is being extendable. Now, there are a number of apps that I'd recommend. The first one here that we're going to have a look here is we're going to visit the Shopify App Store. You can jump in here when you look at Crush. So this one here, Crush.pix, it resizes your images so that they are the best size for your website, and that will speed up your page loading, increasing SEO, search engine optimization. We're going to go back. So that was Crush Pix. I'll type that into the chat. The next one is we want to add some sort of review app. Now, there are a number that are paid. Some of them are really, really good. And there's also a free Shopify one. So the product reviews here is the Shopify one here. Your Poto, or however you would say that, that one's quite a good one. And what's the other one? There is another one, and my brain is missing it at the moment. The Shopify doesn't play especially nice with MailChimp. So if you want to use email marketing, there's a couple of other ones that you would are worth having a look at. I'm a big fan of Omni Send, and that hooks in there, and you can send abandoned cart emails, and it plugs into SMS Messenger and push apps. Again, not hooked into, not part of this tutorial, but those are a couple that I would recommend. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our store, and we're going to visit the home page. The next step, the next step where we're at is we're going to just visit our home page, and we're going to actually online store. Sorry, by clicking here on this eye icon will take us through to our online store, and we can have a look at our store that we've created. We can see that, you know, in a couple of hours we've built out, well, in less than an hour we've built out our online store, and we can see our product here. We can jump in and we can choose the size. We can add it to the cart. It's popped up in our cart. We can view the cart. We can go all the way through. We've automatically applied that new shop promo, so giving us a 5% discount, and we can check out now. Because our account isn't fully enabled, we haven't paid for it, we can't purchase it. But we're ready to go and ready to start taking orders. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in the back end, and we can come down to the bottom and select our plan. This is where we would choose our plan. I'll just make this wider because then they come out together. These are, at the moment we've got a trial for 90 days. So if you click on the link, which is down the bottom of the video there, you can sign up and get a trial for 90 days. These are the fees. So for $29 a month, this is the basic plan. This should be all you need for getting going. If you're just starting out, this is a great plan. You want to add some more features. The benefit for this is you've got a reduced credit card rate, and that's included in Shopify payments. It's really straightforward. It's easy to go, although it is a significant fee. If you want to explore these plans, you can do so on the Shopify webpage. The link is just at the bottom here, shopify.com. So say, for example, we want to progress with this plan. We click here and choose it. There is a discount if you purchase it every year. I'm not going to go through and purchase this for the sake of this video. One of the other things we did need to do is we needed to come in and just quickly add a domain. So click here. So click on the online store button here, down to domains. We can either buy a domain from Shopify or connect an existing domain. So for example, I already have one. If you had one from elsewhere, you can set it up here. Or if you wanted to buy a new one, you can click here and purchase it. Really straightforward and easy to do. And Shopify also has really fantastic support if you need help. Now, we're just about at the end of the video. So there's a couple of questions here. Shopify commerce versus Squarespace commerce. My preference, Jenny, is I really like Squarespace for designer brochure sites, so sites that don't need to have the commerce functionality. Shopify is built for e-commerce, and it's just my preference. I'm sure that Squarespace would work as an e-commerce platform if that's where your website is already hosted. Squarespace does have an e-commerce play. I'm not particularly versed on that, but I'm sure it would be fine. It really would depend on your business, and I'd recommend setting up a trial on Shopify and trialing it. Also, conversely, having a trial with the Squarespace one. Okay, so EJ, I'm just going to start answering this question. When you get a chance, could you discuss the Shopify integration with an existing website? I know there's a WordPress plugin using Shopify functionality. I'm not sure about integrating this with a WordPress website. If there is an existing plugin that probably is outside the scope of this, my preference would be to stay native in Shopify. It depends on how much to stay in Shopify, keeping everything in one platform. You do have a little bit of control over personalizing the URLs. Not so much over control as if you used other platforms, but Shopify already has their file structures already set up. The WooCommerce versus Shopify, again, we build client sites using WooCommerce and Shopify. For what we're trying to help businesses, we're trying to help here. Shopify is a really great platform for businesses who want just an easy to use e-commerce play. If you're wanting to extend beyond the scope of what's available in Shopify, WooCommerce is available to be extended with plugins and develop, personalization and development because it's open source. Much of a muchness. At the moment, I'm tending to steer clients towards Shopify just for its ease of use, but both are great platforms, and we build for clients on both. I hope that answers that question. And then you've got, if you want to balance art with sales, perhaps as a photographer. Yes. So so if you want to, could you explain, EJ? Could you explain that question a little bit? I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. Anyone else have any other questions you'd like to ask? I'll bring myself up to full screen. Any other questions? Okay. So I hope that you have all enjoyed the webinar today. I know that there was an hour and a half and we flew. Okay, so for example, you wanted to balance art with sales. So there's to balance art and to balance displaying products or displaying information. What Eva's question is, can you link the free Google website to Shopify? I would set up a Shopify website, or it depends on what your business is. I would set up a Shopify or a Squarespace website. They are of an equal quality, and then link to your free Google website. It depends on the quality of what you're trying to present to your customers. It's really important to present quality and give your customers a good experience. It depends on what your website is. You can't just connect Shopify and your free Google site. You can, you could create a link button, but my preference would be to have a separate website. Well, thanks, Vanessa. That's really, I'm glad, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to add a call to action down the bottom here. So let me know if you have any questions. If you'd like to book a meeting with me, you can do so. Just email me on my email address below, or just grab this URL. You can either email me, ross@lvrg.co.nz, or what's it not working? No, that's all right. Just email me, and happy to help or answer any questions. So Ross or if you have any websites that you want help building, more than happy to jump on a call. Now on On Monday, we are going to have a social media masterclass talking about how to use social media to grow your business in 2020. You, by being registered to this, you're already registered. It will email you on your calendar. So, but thank you very much for attending. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks, Eva. Looking forward to seeing you on Monday. Thanks, Jenny and Helene and Joanne and Shaylin. I hope I'm saying that right. And Vanessa and Janine. Thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to finish it up here. I hope you have a wonderful Friday and enjoy the Anzac weekend on in lockdown. It's pretty bizarre. So anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.